Tonight we're going to talk about relating with others. Now, I felt like we kind of talked a little bit about this throughout today, but spiritually and kind of like biblically, what do we need to do to relate to others? We need to start in the right place. We need to start from here. We need to have the hearts, right? We need to have the hearts that we want to absolutely have the best relationships with people. We want to make sure that relationships are and this is the definition I found, that they are a multi-passionate connection between people of all ages in places for all of life that bring fulfillment and enhancement of our destiny, helping us live a full and satisfying life. To me, relationships are everything. I value them, sometimes not very good at them, but they are what gives us life when sometimes it seems the darkest of times. Many of you know the story, like I came from a very good youth group to a very not so good youth group where Mexican cholos beat me up. Hey man, you love God. It was a good one. And I found a group of people at this summer camp that I built relationships with. And the thing about these relationships is they were relationships that were built in with the blood, sweat, and tear of Jesus. And I've said from day one since I've walked through those doors and worked with you guys that the relationships that we build in this room, the relationships we build at Remix, will last for a lifetime. Now we may grow apart, we may do things, we may leave, we may move to New York, California, go to different places in the world, but these relationships, the moments, the memories that we make in your high school life with your youth group will last forever. Facebook groups, Facebook messages of people talking about the memories we had in youth group. After I found one, 15 years later, things still come up and people are like, hey, you remember that one time when you went into the girls' dorms and hit everybody with shaving cream and then you had to rake the forest? Yes, I do. For the note, I was against it the whole time. I wanted to sleep, but everybody else wanted to rake in the girls' dorms. Do not do that tonight. I will kick you out of church. Just kidding. But, it's a thing that we're a family. We're rooted in, and it's very important that it's rooted that we are loving and relating to others is very important. It's part of God's plan. We see in the beginning that He gives man and woman to have a relationship, to have that support, to be that person to help him, to uplift him, to be and do life with him. God gives us our church family for those reasons. He gives us that ability to, when the times are going tough and times are hard, to relate to those people. I'm going to ask you guys a question. This is where we're going to open it up. Because for teenagers, and I've racked my mind about you guys, because many of you kind of blow my mind about this, I'm going to ask you this question. Why do we so badly want to relate to the world and not the ones that can understand us completely? Once again, why do we so badly want to relate to people of the world, our friends at school, people that lead us astray, and not the ones that understand us completely?
Because the lives they live look fun and appealing.
Okay. Yes.
They seem cool.
They seem cool. Yes.
We can fit into social media and social groups.
We talked about that before, social media. Anybody else? Yes. Acceptance. I'm going to go there. We're going to open that other question. This is why I kind of like discussion. Why do we have this need that we feel like we have to be accepted by people at our school?
Because we're not, we feel alone. Because that's how Satan can get to us.
Okay, good. DJ, I want you to stand up. I want you to look around. I want you to look over there. Are you alone? Somebody should put his phone in silent.
Wow, Ryan.
Sorry.
Wait,
I found the phone right
Yes. All right. So, we say that we're alone. We so desperately desire relationships with people that do not edify, build us up, or strengthen us. I see it all the time, even in adults, even in my life. There's been times that I have so badly wanted to be a part of these people that I compromise my moral beliefs. I compromise who I am, and I let them encourage me. I let them relate to me. But it says from day one, it's to go into all the world making disciples wherever you are. But sometimes I think that we, for our needs so bad to be into society, to be a part of the world, we let them disciple us. You guys feel the same way? I've talked to many of you on this, and many of you in the last couple of weeks about this, is that people make it seem so fun. It seems like high school parties are the way to be. It seems like the people that drop the F-bomb are the cool people. Like, to be honest with you, it was judged when I was in high school. I don't know, it's the same way. What you wore, like, I stressed out to make sure that I rotated my pants enough because somebody was going to call me out for wearing the same pants within a month. Okay, now I'm an adult, 34 straight days, same pair of jeans. Because nobody cares. My wife does, so I have to wash them. But, I mean, still.
Who washes them?
True. But I have a lot of gas and they stinky. So, what I'm saying is we so desperately care what these people think about us. And they influence our life. They become meaningful relationships. And anything, they become relationships that are toxic to us. I'm not saying not to have church, not friends that are not inside church. I'm not saying that. Because I have many of friends that are not in church that they know I'm a Christian. My best high school friend that I still talk to, it's not my church friend, it's my, Lauren will attest to this. The dude, until lately, I think we're wearing off on him, until lately, he was kind of a dirtbag when it came to girls. Okay, completely. Like, we went out to Nashville to a really nice restaurant, and he had a nude woman on his shirt.
Oh my God.
And I was like, seriously? He's like, dude, I look fly. I gotta look good. Girls gotta know what kind of game I'm throwing at them. I was like, okay. And he was such, the thing was, is at a point in time, it's one of my only friends, I was always who I was as a Christian with him. And he respected me for that. He was also the guy that, if you want to know, he was one of the guys that was part of the Shankars that was shanking me in high school. You guys remember that story?
Did you join the Shankars?
I did. He influenced me in that way, but I pour into him. I try to encourage him. We have guys that we play softball with that are not very spirited with the Lord. But we enjoy their company. We have fun with them. We try to influence them with our attitudes. But there are even times in the heat of battle on the field that sometimes they can influence us. That man in the pink shirt back there is one of the most fiery men I have ever met on the softball field. Because he's ginger. So I come back to the story that society wants us to know that you have to be the coolest people. You have to be the most fly, I'm going to use that word, the most fashionable, the best hair, all these different things. You have to have the newest stuff. But I heard a quote, and I don't know if it's going to make sense, but I read this. It said, the doors of history hinge on the extraordinary decisions of ordinary people. The disciples were not the coolest of the coolest people. They were just normal, ordinary people. They came together, they built relationships. And I also thought about this today. I don't think the disciples probably always got along. But they related to each other. They came to a bond with each other. Now, one made a bad mistake, but they all rallied around each other and moved on from there. But you guys see what I'm saying? It's important, but we so desperately stand in the shadows of people at school. We talked about it earlier today. There's a girl in this room that said, I just don't talk to this person because they're not in my social circle. Who defines social circles? Because this is the thing. We've been dealing with this battle. Everybody in this room can tell you we've been dealing with this battle of trying to be cool in high school our whole lives. It hasn't gone away. I'm pretty sure the oldest person in this room can say that there was some of that back in their day. And we so honestly care about building and relating to the world that we forget what we need to do. Before I go on, does anybody have anything to say about that? About your own personal life? About relating to the people at school? Because I want you to be friends with people at school. That's how you get them in here. It's how you bring the cross to them. Nope. Okay. I'm giving you a chance to talk. Try to be different so you don't fall asleep. Yes.
What would be a really a good way to get someone who doesn't go to church to go to church?
Invite.
Oh, I have, but she.
Just keep inviting them. Show them. I mean, I'm not going to go, but just like some of you that are here didn't want to come to church at one time, probably. But it's just showing them that it's the lifestyle, living your life, telling them about the story, saying that there's great people there, showing her what a true relationship. That's what we're going to get into. It's showing them what a true relationship is. Because when it comes down to it, and Caleb, I think I'm going to tell Megan's story, but I'll adopt it. So you just nod your head on still doing right, okay? Because she's your wife and she's not here to defend herself. So I really respect Megan. That's Lauren's sister. Megan is a very ordinary, extraordinary person. She was in my youth group when I was the first youth minister, pastor, whatever you want to call it. And I was always frustrated because she would never talk in class. Because I knew that Megan was so smart and had such a spirit, but she would never talk. And she would connect, but not really connect. But you could see it was just her growing up. And she would go to a Christian school. She went to CAC. And she probably spent more time with her CAC. These are Christian school friends. So it was kind of like they were all in the same thing. They went to different youth groups that were Church of Christ, and they were her friends. And she had her friends in the youth group, and she related decently to them. But she played basketball. She spent most of their time with these girls. To watch her develop and to move past wanting deeper relationship with people, because these people, even though they went to youth group, even though it was like a constant just fuss about hair, boys, looking good, and all these things, and Megan would want to talk to them about their relationship with God, and they would just be like, and Megan so desperately desired to have a relationship with people at a godly level, to the point where she removed herself from the people that brought negative aspects to her life. Because there's a period of time, and Kayla will tell you, that Megan tried to fit into the mold. She had the blonde hair. She tried to be a model. She was, wearing, she cared about nice things. Like, if she was here, she would agree, And she wanted some of the things that she wanted, and some things she got upset about when she was 16 was because she was being influenced by that way. But she made a decision. She pulled back and she said, I want to pour into people. I want to have deeper, meaningful relationships. And she found those. And she went and she hung out with older people. And she developed her relationship with others. And they go to a church, her and Caleb do that. This church invests in each other. I don't think I really understood that until I started studying this more, that they pour into their relationship with others, because that's what the church is. Because when the world is going bad and it's out there and there's all the wars and Satan is attacking you and you need refuge, that's why he gave us the church. And that's why it breaks my heart so bad at times to see dissension between people in the group. Because this is supposed to be the refuge. When those people have failed you, when the world has let you down, you can come to somebody and say, I need you to pray for me. We got to be the church. We've modeled our ministry after basically the model of Renew. It's very much like that. It's basically a mini church. It's an extension of it. Because we do a lot of the same things. Our Sundays are kind of like the same. We preach some of the same things. It is a family. In Ephesians 5, chapter 5, 1 through 2, it says, Therefore be imitators of God as dear children. Walk in love as Christ also loved us, give himself for us, and offered us and sacrifice to God a sweet smelling aroma. In Romans chapter 13 it says, it says, love people like Jesus did. In John chapter 13 and 35 says, by all this we know that you are, by my disciples, if you have the love for one another. In John 15, 12 through 14 says, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no more than this, than you to lay down one life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command. Basically what he's telling you is he's saying, you guys need to love like me. Love each other. Connect with each other. That's why we wanted you in this room today. Because there needs to be something to a moment when you realize that you desire deeper relationships. To grow, you need to be challenged. We get tuned out sometimes. It's that moment when somebody's not living their life accountable that you take them aside and say, man, I know this is going to hurt. Stop it. Before we can get to that point, we have to have those deeper relationships. We have to be able to call each other out, hold each other accountable. So my next question is, if we're a family, if it's important, we need to relate to each other, how can we relate to each other? Deeper than just saying, hang out, listen to music. Relating in our struggles. The number one thing I hear about is I'm afraid to tell people in my group my struggles because I'm afraid to be judged. This needs to be a refuge, a non-judging place, where somebody says, I struggle with this, and 3 more people say, hey, guess what? So do I. Because we are a church of not proper pew sitters, but we are a church of broken people that need Jesus every day. Right? We struggle. But some of you are better at struggles. And when you've come to me, I've forced you not to talk to me about it, but to go to another student, to develop that relationship, to talk to that person, because I know they've been through that story, and that they can love on you, and they can guide you, and they can live life with you. Because one day, I could die in a fiery car accident. John could get arrested for tax evasion. Jordan's in charge.
Oh, God.
And Remix is in trouble.
I'm just kidding. Oh, music only.
But if we had relationships, if we were built in the faith, if we have each other, you could make it through the toughest times, right? The one thing that Lauren and I did in our hard times is we went to people. People that we had the tightest relationships with. The people that we could understand us, that were there for us. In Matthew 22, it says, Jesus said to him that you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is that you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Relating to others is very simple. And I'm sorry if I've been coming off the place, but I just kind of wanted to talk you through this. Because you got to love people. You got to love where they are. And you have to be patient. You have to be sincere. Sometimes you have to meet people where they are, and sometimes they're really annoying at that moment in their life, and they're frustrating, and you're just like, oh. But you pour into them and you love them. I have friends that are annoying, but that would do anything for me. Because we are connected. We have something bigger. Like, my strongest relationships are the ones that I've forged through my faith, that we have struggled, we have cried together, we have looked each other in the eye and said, I will lift you up. if we're going to launch into the future, if we're going to scratch the surface, it has to start with you guys connecting with each other. Because somebody over here, guess what? You might have a best friend over here. And somebody over here may have a best friend over here, and you don't even know it yet. And some of you may not like this person over here, but they may be struggling with the same thing you're dealing with. Try to have relationships with people. I'll end it with this. I told you it was going to be short tonight. I'm trying to think how I'll put this. We let the world, we let relationships that are not rooted in Christ dictate how we live our lives. I challenge all of you who so badly want to relate with God and each other that the world so badly wants to relate with you. I want people to know when you walk through those halls that it doesn't matter the age, how annoying, who the person is, where they go to church, who they are, that they are a valued person to you. We need to value the relationships with our church friends as much as we value the people in the halls. We need to value people in general and love them. If I hear one more time that somebody so-and-so doesn't say hi to me in the halls, I will scream. Because I was the worst person at college in doing that. Just walking in my life. Not connecting with people. It is the easiest thing to say hello. Kylie, if somebody said hello to you and you were having a bad day, and they said, Kylie, sorry, I hope you have a wonderful day. And they did, like, it's just passing class, and you were having a bad day, that would encourage you, right? That is a common theme that we have to launch over. You act like best friends. You have so much fun. We break things. We laugh. We cry. We put people's stuff on the roof of our dorms. We stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning talking about the dumbest stuff.
Literally. We were having great conversations.
You know, but it's still dumb. Let's be honest with you. But you know what? We come up with these cliques, we do all these things, and listen, this is what's going to happen. My challenge to you is that we remember those nights. We still have that fun, but 2 months from now, we're still 2 months from now, we're still saying hi to each other at school. Because if we just let our camp high happen, and to be honest with you, we let the 67 happen to us, I'm going to call it the 67 phase, because we were fired up. We are the 67. Until we got too big. Now we're just the 66 again. There's only 66 books in the Bible, not 67, because there's too many Bibles here.
You started Michaela, now she's not going to stop.
So my challenge to you that we so desperately, part of our thing is that we try to connect with people. And we be friends here, and we be friends at school. And I repeated myself over and over, but I cannot stress to you, I know that for a fact, Caleb has friends that he met in church, that they were at his wedding, that I, for a period of time, was so jealous of, because he played in a band with him, because we were becoming friends, and like, Caleb, my best friend, I love him. And then I would see him with his music friends. I went to his bachelor party, we went camping. And I kind of felt, I went to bed early, because I was like, man, they got a really good bond. And they're all musicians, and I can't even play the egg. You know, a little shaker. And so I kind of like, no, it's like an egg, and it can't even do that. So, I just tell you that is forge relationships. Don't let petty stuff get in your way. Because the stupidest fights create the longest road between people. Let's be encouraging to each other. Let's stop letting high school dictate how we live our lives. You can still be friends with them. Don't ever say I'm not saying that. But influence them to be greater. And don't let them tear you down. So where do we go from here?
Bigger.
Bigger, better, what up? We should what?
Just go.
Make a plan?
No.
Yes.
I need to use the restroom.
We're almost done.
I need to go pee.
So no, we're it's only acoustic for this, right? Yeah, it's only acoustic. So we're gonna ask, where do we go from here? And the best way I can say is that we must multiply our hallelujahs. God has designed us for a reason. God created man, created woman for a relationship. God then created people. And then God established the church. In Greek, ecclesia means the called out ones. He told the church to edify and build up each other. Edify means to encourage. He gave us examples of Barnabas that would encourage all the people. We see that he would encourage all the church. We see Paul would encourage the churches. So what we need to do is that we need to make a decision tonight. We need to make a decision that we are going to multiply our hallelujahs, and that we're going to multiply our relationships, and that we are going to be bigger than 2 months of retreat high. Because if I die and there is no God and I have lived my life this way, I have been very successful. I believe there is a God. But if for some reason it didn't happen and this is how I live my life, it is the best way to live it. Because I was happy. Because I lived with clear eyes and I had full hearts of His love. And I know that's from a TV show, but it's so true. So tonight, before we go in tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the day that we talk about our challenges and to wrap up and to go home. But tonight, you really have to make a decision to be a Christian. I'm not telling you you have to be perfect. But this year, we need to strive to launch yourself to be bigger and better. I love it. Most of everybody in this room is like, I'm tired of the status quo. I'm tired of just being who I am. I want to be better. Then you know what? Do it. I am the worst at saying I'm going to do something and not do it. I know. Oh, I'm going to go work out. And I did really good for a while, and then it all came back. Yeah, that's fine. But I want you guys tonight, and before you come up here, I'm not going to do an altar call. I'm not going to do all this thing. But what I am going to do is, if you're going to come up here, and you're going to put your hands up in the air, you're going to worship God, that is your dedication for this year. That you're going to open your Bibles up more. You're going to study more. You're going to relate. You're going to edify. You're going to build up each other. And you're going to be a family. When our brothers falls, and his faith is down or her faith is down, that you're going to go over there and you're going to lift them up. When somebody's struggling, and when somebody's having a great moment, because you know what was great? Is when Ellis passed away, you built us up. You wrapped us up. Do you do that for each other? Not just because I'm your leader, not because I pour into you. You need to be able to do the same thing to everybody else. This is your family. We fight, we argue, we love, and eventually we will multiply together, and we will spread salvation in the world, and we will reach people that do not know God. Sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes we're going to reach the right people. So before we sing our quote-unquote, our anthem, our song that a lot of you guys love, I want you to truly believe it. And then you come up here and you stand as a team and as a family. And you worship so loud that the deer turn. Wow, those guys are good. I love you guys so much. After us trying tonight we tried to go a cappella down on the hike. Oh, it was horrible. It was bad. Whew. I've led some bad a cappella groups because I'm horrible, but that was bad. But I love you guys. Let's pray. Father God, I thank you so much for who you are. I say that a lot, but it really is who you are, God. You're the perfect example of love. How we fail you like Israel, how we turn our backs, how we abandon you, and you're always standing there with open arms. God, you are amazing. You are the great I am. You establish churches, you establish Christianity, and you establish these families on earth to help us run this race together. You knew what you were doing from day one. You knew from the beginning that these young men and women would be in this room together, that they would live their lives together. God, I pray that you help them be the ecclesia, help them be the church, edify, build each other, get each other to the places that they need to be, keep each other accountable. God, we come to this moment and I just ask that you help us worship with all of our heart, and all of our soul, and all of our mind. And God, there's a day when this youth group is over and people will fall away. And they will not be in your side, and they will not want to be in a relationship with you, God. And we have to do everything we have to do to build strong, steadfast relationships. So when people start falling, that we pick them up and that we carry them. I love you so much. And Reuben said,